I spent over 20 hours testing every single Gemini 3 feature. And guess what? Most of them complete waste of time for actual businesses. Here's the problem. Everyone thinks more features equals better results. So they try and learn everything, they get overwhelmed, and they end up using nothing. But here's what I found. You don't need to learn everything. You just need these 6 use cases organized from beginner to advanced, so you know exactly which use case to choose depending on your skill level. I run an AI consultancy where I help businesses implement AI strategies every single day. I also run a community of over 400 members where I help them implement AI workflows for their personal or business use. So I filtered through all of the noise and I found the only features that stick in real world use cases. In this video, I'm breaking down all the 6, what they do, when to use them, and how to master each before progressing to the next level. Anyways, enough of the talking, let's get into it. So, getting straight into the action. For the first one, we're basically turning spreadsheets into interactive dashboards. The reason being is that businesses, or most if not all businesses, track their data. For example here, I have a spreadsheet that tracks marketing, or should I say paid ads data for different channels, and businesses have these type of data for different functions, whether that be for customer support, sales. You get the logic. And most of the time, the reason why they track this data is because they want to use the data in order to make informed decisions, not just make decisions based on gut feelings. So what we are going to do is that we're going to just make that decision process easier by making them able to interact with their data. And that is what we are going to do. So if you have this on Google Sheets, you don't need to download it as a CSV because Google Gemini already has an integration on Google Sheets. But if you have this on Excel or Airtable, just download this as a CSV, or should I say download your table as a CSV. Then come over to Gemini and click on Add Files, Add from Drive, select the spreadsheet, and then it's going to get added. However, if you download the CSV, all you have to do is click on Upload Files here and select on Canvas here and just say, build me an interactive dashboard that I can use to interact with the data in this CSV. Simple. We have to do now is we can select the model, but any model is fine. Let's just use thinking and just click on send. And what it's going to do now is that you can see here it's already developing the UI elements and it has already started building. So once it's done building the dashboard, I'll get back to you and review the results. And it just finished. So you can see the dashboard here. I believe this has a sample data set, is not the actual thing. So it gives us the ability to upload a CSV. So I downloaded the CSV here and I can just open it and we can see, wow. We have the data basically visualized and we can view it based on budget. Yeah, oh wow. This is really good. So you can see this is looking amazing and this is just the first use case. So now for the second one. Instead of visualizing data, we're creating presentations. If you work in a company or you're a business owner, you know most of your time is spent creating and designing presentations that you can use to show to maybe your bosses or your clients, whoever you're showing basically. Creating presentation is always something that you end up doing one way or the other. So this use case basically helps us create good-looking presentations, like extremely good-looking one, without spending the time anymore for creating the presentation. So what we are going to do now is that we are going to start a new chat and we are going to use the same CSV that we used, and we're just going to say, build me a PowerPoint presentation, or should I say a Google Slides presentation, based on this data. Basically, how to present it to the board. Simple. And we always have to check and make sure that canvas mode is on, and any model is fine. We're just going to use thinking, and we're going to send. So you can see here it just got started and it's creating the presentation, or should I say the slides for us for the presentation. So once it's done, as I said here, it's ready in a few minutes. I'll get back to you with the results, and it just finished. So let's give it a quick look. So we can skim through here. Wow. Okay. You could. And the fact that it was done in a few minutes is insane. And once it's done, you can just click on export to slides here, and it's going to get added to your Google Slides account automatically. I told you, all these use cases are extremely good and applicable to your work right now. So now we're moving a bit into the intermediate level, because now we're not creating slides or interactive dashboards. What we are creating now are creative visual assets. Whether you're an e-commerce brand and you'd like to turn a picture of your product and add a model onto it, which I would be showing you that as the example, or let's say you are an educator and you'd like to create an infographic based on some information that you have, you can also do that. Or if you have a picture, you like to edit it and you're not experienced or skilled when it comes to image editing, you can use the image model by Google, which is also known as Nano Banana Pro. So all you have to do is just come into here and click on create images, and what we are going to do, as I've said, is that we're going to add a model onto a piece of clothing. So we're going to search for a Lululemon shirt here. We're going to go to images. Alright, let's see. Okay, so let's use this one here. Let's make a screenshot. Let's go back to Gemini and upload the image as a file. And can you take this piece of clothing and add a model onto it so that it looks like a photo shoot? You just add it in our prompt, and you can just send it over. What it's going to do now, you can see it's loading Nano Banana Pro, and it's going to create the image for us. And if you notice a theme with most of the prompts that I've been providing, they're all basic level prompts that beginners will typically input. So I'm showing you the inputs that most people will be using, rather than using polished inputs that most people never use. So let's check that out with here, and wow, this looks really good. You can see, wow, this looks actually really good. And this is just the third one, but we're still on the intermediate part of these use cases. The next one is still intermediate, but this is more for learning. Let's say you found a YouTube video podcast that you'd like to learn more in-depth from. Like, let's say you want it to be applied in your learning style, because everyone has their own different ways that they learn from. Not just that, but let's say you have an exam coming up and you're in uni and you want to study. This next use case solves that for us. So it's called Notebook LM, and you can access it by just going to notebooklm.google, and all you have to do is just start a new notebook, and you can see here you can upload sources. A source is basically the thing that you'd like to learn from. So in this case here, I'm just going to add a YouTube video. Let's see. Let's use this one, How to Build Better Habits, a podcast from Andrew Huberman. I really recommend his videos. Once you copy that, we'll come back here and we will select the YouTube option, but you can see here you can add your Google Drive if you want, or you can add a PDF document or a website link, or even paste a text. So just click on YouTube here and paste it. I click on insert, and what it's going to do now is just going to ingest the data from this YouTube video onto this notebook in Notebook LM. And then if you come to the right side of Notebook LM, you can see multiple options. You can get an audio preview, like a podcast based on the podcast basically, or a video overview, or a mind map. Let me actually click on a mind map.
And you can see here it's generating, or you can create reports. Let's also create one. Here it's going to load suggestions for us based on the YouTube type. You can see here, let's select this one. And here it's generating the report. Let's check the mind map, and we can see here it breaks it down into the 5 course types, which you can see the definition of habits, the 4 laws of behavior change, the strategies for success, breaking bad habits, and productivity habits. So this breaks it down for us in an easier way so that we can understand. And let's say you want to go a bit more in depth into this, and you can see the 4 laws of behavior change. First of all, make it obvious, make it attractive, and then make it easy and make it satisfying. And if you come to the chart here, you can see it does an explanation based on the data that is in the YouTube video. So it doesn't just create or hallucinate any data based on, let's say, the naming. It goes into the YouTube video, it checks the transcripts and talks about it like how it was talked about in the podcast. So you can see here, make it attractive, and it makes everything easier. And the report is still generating. And also, if you prefer learning through flashcards, you can click on flashcard here, and you can see it's also generating the flashcard or even quiz, an interactive quiz, to see your learning progress basically and gauge if you're ready to go or not. Not just that, but also infographics. So we can click on that and also get an infographic. Not just that, but also a slide deck and a data table. So you can see it goes quite in depth. Not just that, but let's say you want to keep this aside and you don't want to use anything in the studio part, you can ask it any question. So how can I get started? How can I get started to form a habit? So you can ask it any question. You can give your personal experience or point of view, and then it's going to use the data from the video and give you a personalized response. So you can see this is really good for learning, and it makes learning way more fun and faster. You can see the flashcards here. You can see the first one here. It says, according to James Clear, which is the author of Atomic Habits, and you can see here it says, what are habits fundamentally solutions to? So you can see it creates a lot of flashcards. Wow, sophisticated cards, and you can go through them. You can open it here, and let's look at the guide here. Creates a well-documented guide. Wow, this is really, really good. And the other one, I believe, was the infographic, I believe. Oh, wow, this is insane. And I believe the infographic was created using Nano Banana Pro, the same model we use for this image generation, but this time in Notebook LM. And you can see here, this is really, really good. I told you, I went through all of the use cases and I select the best ones. And this is the 4th one, and it's really good. And you haven't seen the remaining 2, which are even better than this. So now for the 5th one, we're now moving into the advanced side of things. The reason why this is advanced is that we're not using it for learning or creating images. But this is that we're creating actual application. Not like the interactive dashboard like I showed you in the first use case. This is more for, like, let's say you have a software idea and you'd like to bring it to life. You can use this use case to do that. And another one is, let's say you have a software that you're paying for every single month, and you're tired of paying for this software every single month. So what you can do is that you can recreate the software that you pay for and basically have it for free. So that is what this use case is for. And in order for us to do that, we're going to go into Google AI Studio, which you can access here by going to aistudio.google.com. And once you're here, you want to come over to the build section and you want to describe your idea. For our idea, we're just going to say, build me a task tracking application that uses the Kanban style. And for the model, I would recommend using the 3 Pro model, or you can use the 3 Flash. The Flash is just faster and cheaper, but it's completely free. Everything that I'm showing you in this use case is completely free and accessible if you have a Google account. All you have to do is just click on build here, and it's going to
go ahead and build this task tracking application for us. And once it's done,
I'll get back to you with the results so that we can review it and get our mind blown once again. And it just finished.
wow,
This looks... I keep on getting my mind blown away. Let's open this in full screen and you can see it here. We can drag. Wow, this is good. We can click on it. You can use AI to generate details. Wow. You can add subtasks like viewing feature. Let's see. Insane. This is actually good because I tried to create this in my Claude Code video and it wasn't as good as this. Crazy. Let's try the auto generate details feature. See?
And you can set the priority level. I told you, every single use case just keeps on getting better. The sixth one, just prepare. I don't disappoint.
So what we can see here, and we can add the task and move it across. And you can see, it got it done for us for free, and it doesn't require any complex prompt. You can see this was just a basic prompt and it got it done for us. So now, for the sixth and final one,
we will be creating mini versions, or should I say mini customized versions of Gemini. So let's say you want to create a custom version of Gemini that the only purpose of that version is to create slides in your own company SOP. Or let's say you want to create a custom Gemini that just turns a picture of your product into a model holding that product. Or let's say you want to create a custom version of Gemini that turns your company docs into something that your employees can search for, so that let's say if they are searching for something, they can quickly get access to that information, compared to making them go through every single company doc, wasting time, and by the end maybe not finding what they really need, which just spoils the productivity of the team. So what we will be creating is that basically. So in order for you to do that, as I've said, all of this is free and you can do it all
if you have a Google account. So we're gonna come here, expand, and we're gonna click on gems here, and we're gonna click on new gem. We are gonna give our gem a name. Let's see what are we gonna name it. Let's see, customer support assistant. We can give a description to our gem and also instructions. This is where you basically see what the gem does. For mine, I'm just gonna see, you are going to help the employees of this company when they are searching for information based on the company docs. Simple, straight to the point. For the description, I'm just gonna leave it empty. Then when it comes to the defaults tool, as I've said, if you want it to be creating images, you can give it the image creation tool, or even videos, or even deep research, or let's say canvas for creating slides, or guided learning, let's say. But for this case, we're not going to assign it any tool, because the purpose of our gem is just to search through the knowledge, which you can see here. And this is where we will be adding the docs. Basically, we're going to add from drive, then we are going to select this one and just click on it, set. And what we are going to do is just click on save. You can see start and chart. So now we are using the gem just like we would be using Gemini, but this is just a custom version of the gem. And for context, the docs that I just uploaded is basically a help center document that the customer support reps can use when helping customers. You can see here it has every single detail. And let's see, which question are we going to ask? Let's ask it about how long does a typical transfer take between US and Canada. So how long does a transfer take between US and Canada? I'm going to send, and you can see here it just called upon the custom gem. Wow, It said a transfer between the United States and Canada
That typically takes between 1 to 2 business days. And if you were to check, we can see it's perfect. And you can ask, what about EU? What about Europe and Canada?
Sorry, what about Europe and UK? And you can see here it said minutes to 6 hours, and if you were to check, perfect. This is really good. This is really good.
And let's say, for example, you already have your marketing stuff as a knowledge.
So you can use any of the already existing tools. Let's say create an infographic based on the help center docs.
And you can see we used the image tool, which is Nano Banana Pro, and it already has context of the Novify Help Center document. And what it's going to do now is going to create an infographic. So you can use any of the use cases that I explained earlier
in a custom gem, basically, which is why I told you this is the last one.
Because this is the trick of everything. And I hope I didn't disappoint with anyone.
Wow. Same.
This looks good.
And there you have it.
6 actually useful Gemini 3 use cases from beginner all the way to advanced. You went from overwhelmed with 50 plus features, not knowing which one to use or which ones are actually useful, to knowing the 6 core use cases that are actually useful, broken down by their skill level, so you can just use one based on your skill level. Not just that, but you now know more than 90% of the Gemini users. If you want to take this deeper and you want to know more, you can join the Builders Lab community. Visit the first link in the description below, where you can get access to 50 plus templates that are much more mind-blowing than these ones. Not just that, but access to a community of over 400 members that are all focused on AI, implementing AI into their workflows and making AI meaningful for them. Not just that, but weekly calls with me where you can ask me any questions and you get personalized support straight from me. And if you're a business and you're lost in this AI world and you need an AI strategy set for your business, you've come to the right place. Click the second link in the description below and you can book a strategy call with my team and we'll get you started with that. Before you go, make sure to hit that like button and also comment on the use case that you'll be trying out first. And finally, make sure to subscribe for more useful videos like this. Thank you for watching. I'm Ahmed and I will see you in the next one.